Mary Aro was born in 1929, just days before the stock market crash that launched the United States into the Great Depression. Between helping with family duties and attending classes on and off, Aro worked designing Christmas cards and as a fashion illustrator. Before she could finish her undergraduate degree in art, Aro married, and for the next 20 years, she was a full-time mother of 5. When Aro returned to Wayne State in 1977 to finish her undergraduate art degree and obtain a Master of Fine Art, the art climate was changing. In Detroit, artists began focusing on Cass Avenue as a representation of the shifting demographics of the old Detroit neighborhoods. This post-race riot world was one of extreme separations, rich from poor, white from black, and urban from suburban. Many artists at Wayne State were influenced by the impact of these divides and shifted from expressionism to realism. Aro developed her own unique style, incorporating her realism with a strong sense of abstract space and form. She started exploring divisions within her own works, juxtaposing detailed nature scenes with figures and objects isolated on a white background. This became a hallmark of Aro's style. This was shaped by her education and experiences in Detroit, but also reflected events in Aro's own life and the distinctly separate realms in which she lived, Metro Detroit and rural Maine. Aro's recent oil paintings depict scenes from the Sedgwick transfer station, highlighting the accumulated impact of our refuse. In these works, the objects are juxtaposed with the natural landscapes common to Aro's earlier pieces. 2 of her transfer station studies won the Purchase Prize at the 2009 Portland Museum of Art Biennial. For many years, Aro continued observing and painting during her summer months in Maine and northern Michigan. For the other 6 months of the year, she worked in her studio near Detroit, creating new imagery and combining the various elements of her multi-part works. During the COVID-19 quarantine, Aro has remained in Detroit with her family and requested that they help gather street trash as samples for her work. The resulting life-size watercolor paintings became a connection to others in the outside world. They also reflect her continued interest in the power of negative space and the found object as both memento and abstract shape. The observational realism of the now isolated objects invites the viewer to imagine both the environment marred by our trash as well as the impact of our own lives, creating and discarding.